risk management and coordination plans remain incomplete and slow, and the bottom line is that rising costs, construction delays, staffing gaps, weak oversight threaten the ongoing introduction of the fighter jets. And who was responsible for that? Well, Anita Anand was one of the defense ministers who helped bring about this boondoggle. She has been promoted in this government. So in all of these cases, you have promotions for those who caused the problem. Now, finally, you've got federal land for housing. In the middle of the worst housing crisis in the world, the government has failed to live up to its promise to sell off federal land and buildings for housing. They said in 2017 half of their buildings and land were underused or vacant, and yet only 2% of it has been disposed of for homes. They've built only 309 homes, 90% short of the 4,000 they promised. It takes them 8 years to sell a property. 8 years. You've got $3.9 billion we could be bringing in over the next decade if we sold off these buildings and avoided having the operational costs of them. And the fact that they've missed these targets means that there are countless young people who can't afford homes, single mothers who pay higher rent, seniors choosing between eating and heating because the cost of housing is out of control. Again, the housing minister who caused this disaster has now been promoted to Liberal Minister of Justice. So it is the same Liberal ministers, the same Liberal gang, making the same Liberal mistakes that cost Canadians a fortune. And that is why we are calling for accountability. We're calling on the government to get our money back. They need to go to GC Strategies and get our money back so taxpayers can be made whole. We must ensure our government spends money wisely to protect the taxpayers, to make sure this is a country where hard work pays off with a great life in a beautiful home on a safe street.
What do you make of the fact that public servants are not being held accountable for failing to check that this work, like, signing these contracts and never checking that the work's going to be done? Should there be punitive measures here?
Well, yes. I mean, anybody who did that should be fired, but the politicians should be held accountable as well. I mean, I just finished listing all of the Liberal ministers that were in charge of these various departments that went ahead and spent this money even though it was unnecessary. I mean, look at Patty Hajdu. We said that the ArriveCAN app was unnecessary, and they went ahead and used it anyway. We didn't need it. It didn't do any good, and it cost a fortune. Why was she not held accountable instead of promoted by Mark Carney? Why was Dominic LeBlanc, who was the public safety minister, not held accountable? Why was Sean Fraser promoted after he made these mistakes? This Liberal government is in a habit of promoting politicians who waste people's money and screw up people's lives.